Hi guys, my name is Stephanie and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to cut and sew this straight gown with 2 side slits, and it also has 2 long sleeves as well. It has a v-neck and also a collar and 2 inseam pockets. So if you're interested, please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also like this video as well. So these are the materials I'll be making use of in this project. I have these 3 yards of striped fabric that I'll be making use of, and I also have other materials here that I'll be using at the course of this project, so keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'll go ahead and fold the fabric, and then I'll be folding it into 4. I've actually gone ahead to do that. As you can see, I've gone ahead to fold the fabric into 4. 1, 2, 3 and then 4, because I'll be cutting both the back and the front piece together. And I've also gone ahead to pin it down in some places so that when I'm moving it, it doesn't scatter. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be marking a straight line from this upper side, which will actually be serving as my starting point. I'll use my ruler and then do that. And then I'll go ahead and insert her shoulder measurement. Her shoulder measurement is 17 inches divided by 2 is 8.5. I'll go ahead and mark the 8.5 there, but I added half an inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so I added half an inch for sewing allowance at the shoulder side. So the next thing I'm going to do is that from the shoulder side, I'll be going down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll go ahead and mark it down with my chalk, just the same way you see in this video. So for the back neck depth, I'll go ahead and mark it with my chalk from that starting point by 1 inch. I'll mark down by 1 inch and then go ahead and mark it with my chalk. And then the width I'm making use of is 3.5 inches. The neck width I'm making use of is 3.5 inches for both the back and the front piece. Okay, so I've actually gone ahead to mark that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to be connecting from the neck width to the neck depth, just the same way you see me doing in this video. And the next measurement I'm taking is for the front neck depth. For the front, it's actually going to be a v-neck, so I'm making use of 8.5 inches starting from the starting point. I'll mark 8.5 inches, just the same way you see in this video, and then I will use my ruler to connect a line from the neck depth to the neck width, just the same way you see me doing in this video. So I'm just using a more brighter chalk to trace it out so that it will be more visible for you guys to see. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be sloping her shoulder, starting from the neck width to where the shoulder is actually stopping, where it actually slanted by 1 inch. And the next measurement I'll be taking is her armhole. So I'll actually divide her shoulder by 2 and then I'll mark 8.5 inches right there. And then I'll go ahead and connect it to a straight line from the shoulder slope all the way to where the armhole is actually going to stop. So to get the midpoint of the armhole, I will actually be dividing it by 2, the 8.5 by 2, and then I will place it from there to mark the midpoint of the armhole. And then I'll be going in by half an inch from this midpoint, which I'll be curving when I'm done inserting her measurement. Okay, so the next measurement I'll actually be taking is a vertical measurement. I'll start from the shoulder line, mark to her bust point, which is 11 inches. I'll go ahead and mark it over there. And I'll also be marking to her waistline, which is 18 inches. I'll take it to the shoulder to 18 inches and then I'll be marking to her hip point. I'll place the tape from the shoulder to her hip point, which is 27 inches. I'll go ahead and mark the 27 inches there, or you can start from the waistline and mark 9 inches down. So that's actually what I did. And then I'll go ahead and connect all the points with a straight line with using my ruler, as you can see in this video. So the next measurement I will be taking is the full length of the gown. So I'll place it from the shoulder line and take it all the way to the downside to mark the full length. And the full length of the gown is 59 inches and this material is by 60. So I'll be marking the 59 inches, but I'll not be cutting it. I'll use the downside to fold when I'm actually done joining the gown. Okay, so I will not be cutting anything out. I'll just fold a little bit from the downside when I'm done. And the next thing I'll be doing is to be dividing all her round body measurements by 4, because both the back and the front piece is folded into 4. So I'll be dividing her bust measurement, which is 41 inches. I'll divide it by 4 and mark it there. And then I'll also be dividing her waist measurement, which is 38, by 4, and then I'll mark it there. From the bust point, I'll add 1.5 inch for sewing allowance, and then I'll be adding 1 inch for ease, because the gown is going to be a bit free. And then from the waistline as well, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inch for sewing allowance, 1 inch for ease as well. And from her hip point, I'll also be dividing her round hip measurement, which is 42 inches. So I'll divide it by 4, 10.5. I'll mark 1.5 inch for sewing allowance, 1 inch for ease. So I'll come back to her armhole now, and then I'll be curving it. Starting from her original measurements, I'll go ahead and curve it all the way from that side to the 1/2 inch that I marked in earlier, and then all the way to the upper side where the shoulder slope stop. So I'll curve it there, and then I'll be connecting it to this other side as well. So what I'm going to do next is to be joining all the points together. I'll go ahead and connect them, starting from the bust point to the waistline and then to the hip point. And then I'll take it all the way down. From this hip point, it's actually going to be a straight gown. So I'll use my ruler and then connect a straight line from that hip point all the way to the downside. So I'm actually done connecting it all the way to the downside. As you can see, I will drag it down, and then I'll go ahead and cut the whole measurement out, starting from the neckline with the back neckline first, because you don't want to cut the front neckline with the back neckline. Follow to the shoulder line and then the armhole, and then I'll cut from the rest of the measurement from the bust point, waistline, hip point, and then to the full length of the gown. And I'll also go ahead and remove the pins on the gown, and then I will take out the back piece in order for me to cut the front neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut it out following the measurement that I marked earlier. And this is how the front neckline looks like. This is how the V shape looks like, and this is how the back neckline looks like as well. I've also gone ahead to draft her sleeve. The length is 21 inches. I added more inches for folding and for sewing as well. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. And then I'll be using this one as a template to cut the second one. So I'm done cutting the 2 sleeves. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be folding the fabric, which I'll be placing the front piece on to cut a piece that I'll be turning it with. And then from here I'll mark 3 inches in. I'll mark it with my chalk. That's how wide I want it to be, and I'll go ahead and cut it. And then from the downside, I will be moving down by about 4.5 inches. I'll move down from there about 4.5 inches. I'll mark it down, and then I'll be connecting the 4.5 inches all the way to the 3 inches that I marked from the upper side. I'll just curve it just the same way you see in this video, and I'll go ahead and cut it out. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to be placing this with the right sides facing each other just the same way you see, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it all the way down. I'll sew it like that, following the V shape. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to do that. I've gone ahead to sew it and then turn it over to the other side, and I've also gone ahead to iron it so that it will lie down flat. And this is how the back side looks like. I've gone ahead to flip it over, and then I also hem it with hemming gum at the mid side so that it will hold. The next thing I'll do is I'll place the right side of the back and the front piece facing each other. You know that I did not turn the neckline of the back because I'll be fixing a collar. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew about 1/2 inch at the shoulder line. So guys, I'm actually done sewing the shoulder lines, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is that from this shoulder line, I'm moving down by 1.5 inch. That's actually where I'll start fixing the collar from. I'll mark it over there, and then I'll mark it to this other side as well. And I'll mark it from both the wrong and the right side so that I'll actually know where I'll be placing the collar from. So I'll go ahead and open it up, and then I'll place it like this. I'll use my ruler and then start marking from the marked line all the way to the other side. And this will actually determine how long the collar is actually going to be. I'll start from the other marked line to this other side. It's about 12.5 inches, and that's how long it's actually going to be. So I've actually gone ahead to cut 1 inch wide and 12.5 inches long, but I'll still be minusing from it because I don't want the collar to be that wide. So I'm making use of 0.8 inches instead. So I'll go ahead and mark it and then cut off the excess. So I've gone ahead to gum the gum stay on the fabric, and then I added 1/2 inch all the way around, and I cut 2 pieces. So I'll be folding from the downside and then hemming it to a hemming gum, and I'll be placing it with the right sides facing each other, just the same way you see like this. And then I will sew the 1/2 inch all the way around, leaving the downside. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'll flip it over to the right side and then iron it so that it will lie flat. So this is how it looks like after turning it over and ironing it. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to still be tracing out this place that I marked earlier, and then I'll open it up. I'll open it up and then mark to the wrong side as well. I'll be placing the right side facing the wrong side of the gown. I'll go ahead and sew the 1/2 inch all the way around to the marked line. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'm done sewing it around. So I'll be flipping it over to the right side. I'll flip it over to the right side. So the side that I actually hem with the hemming gum will actually lie on the right side. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and then fold it in so that the rough part will not show, and then I will sew at the tip of it all the way around to the other side as well. So guys, I'm actually done sewing it around. I'm actually done doing that, and this is how it actually looks like. So I've actually placed the right sides facing each other, and then I'll mark her measurement over there, her bust measurement, and then from the waist as well I'll mark it and then draw it all the way to the waistline. So from where the pockets actually stop, I'm going in by 1/2 inch. It actually stopped on 19 inches, not a half cut. So I'll move in by 1 inch and then down by 1/2 inch, and then I'll draw like that, and then I'll do the same thing to the downside as well. Move up by 1/2 inch and then move in by 1 inch so that the rough part of the pocket will not actually show, it will be inside. So I'll go ahead and connect the rest of the measurements all the way to the downside. So I'll go ahead and sew it following the marked lines, and then I'll repeat the same process with the other side as well. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. As you can see, there is a space there for the hand to be able to go inside the pocket. And I did the same thing to this other side as well. So I'll start sewing the pocket from where the stitch actually stopped. I'll sew 1/2 inch all the way around, and then I'll join into the downside as well. And I'll be doing the same thing to the other side. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'm actually done sewing it all the way around. You see that there is still that space for the pockets, for the hand to be able to pass through the pockets. So after turning it to the right side, this is how it looks like. It's not really even visible that there is a pocket there. So you see how everything actually turned out. So for the downside, I'll be creating a slit. So from the downside, I'll mark about 15 inches upward. I'll mark it like that, and then I'll go ahead and connect it. I'll sew it to complete to the upper side, and I'll do the same thing to the other side as well. I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it. So after sewing, what I'm going to do is that I'll be folding the downside. I'll fold it into two, just the same way you see. I'll take it and then sew it all the way down. I'll repeat the same process with the downside and also the other side of the gown as well. I'll fold it into two, sew it. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'm done sewing it for both sides, the right and the left side. So what I'm actually going to do now is that I'm going to be folding the downside. I'll fold it for the first time and then still fold it again, just a little bit, because our full length is 59. I will do the same thing to this other side as well. Fold it by two and then sew it all the way to the other side. So guys, I've also gone ahead to sew the sleeve as well. I folded it and then marked the desired measurement, and then I sew it from the upper side to the downside, and then I folded the downside as well to reach the 24 inches of length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be fixing it on the gown now. I'll place it on the right side with the right sides facing each other, and then I'll sew it around. Do the same thing to this other side as well. Just place it in the middle and sew it around. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'm done fixing the sleeve on the dress for both left and the right hand side, and this is how everything actually turned out to be right now. So you see how everything is from the downside. I also folded the downside as well, like I said earlier, and the slit is also there. The side slits, both the left and the right hand side, and the two side pockets as well, the two inseam pockets. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join this family if you haven't done so. Like this video and also share it to anyone you know the video is going to be of help to. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.